Hello, I'm Ali Langdon. Welcome to A Current Affair. The first few days as a new parent can be overwhelming, even when things go well. For new mums, Kira and Brianna, complications at birth saw their babies spend time in intensive care. It was only when Brianna got home that she realised the name on her baby's ID bracelet wasn't hers.
So I could have taken home somebody else's baby. They could have immunised her with the wrong immunisations.
I'm definitely traumatised. If I was to ever have another baby, I will not be going back to that hospital.
Come on, Bentley, where's your hair, boy?
New mums Kira and Brianna should have never met. But after a bungle at birth inside Maitland Hospital, their worlds collided.
And it should have never happened at all.
Kira's prenatal experience wasn't easy.
I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes very early on, and later on to be told preeclampsia.
On the 18th of August, the 20-year-old was induced early.
To get into the birthing unit for my epidural not to work. So I wasn't ready for it. A bit of a meltdown did happen.
45 minutes later, her little boy Bentley arrived. But due to complications, he was rushed into the hospital's neonatal intensive care unit in the New South Wales Hunter region.
It was really hard, and watching the state he was in that NICU under the blue light.
Bentley was in the NICU for 6 days, where his mum says her active little boy kept kicking the identification bracelets off his ankles.
My mother always said, "Have you ever heard of the movie Switched at Birth?" And I said, "Yeah, Mum." She goes, "Please make sure his bracelets are on." So every time I'd change him, I'd put him back on.
Little did Kira know she was about to experience her own version of the 90s movie. In a different room on the maternity ward at Maitland Hospital, Brianna was giving birth to her little girl Willow.
She was struggling to breathe on her own. And then next minute I look to my right and see my partner and my baby getting rushed out of the room.
Willow was also taken to the NICU.
She was in there for about 30 to 40 minutes before she come to the recovery room.
Willow recovered quickly, and 2 days later, the 22-year-old and her baby girl were sent home from hospital, where their newborn bubble was burst.
The wrong name bands was put on Willow. There was a boy's name band that was put on her, and a different mother's details that were put on her as well.
Bentley's ID bands had been placed on Willow during her short stay in the NICU, sparking a frantic phone call to the hospital.
They actually told us over the phone that Willow's information was put in somebody else's profile at the hospital.
And what was going through your mind when they told you that there was no record of your baby?
It was it was very sad to go through as a first-time mum. It was quite sad.
Brianna called Kira to make sure she was aware.
And when I had answered it and she started talking to me, I didn't think this was real. I was like, no, this isn't real.
How did it feel knowing that your personal details had gotten in the hands of a stranger?
I was in shock, but I am very lucky to this day to have a nice person to actually reach out to me, because the hospital did not reach out to me once to tell me what had happened.
The first-time mums left puzzled over what could have gone wrong.
But what makes it worse is the name band that got put on her was from 3 days ago. So it was from the 18th and she was born on the 21st. So I don't understand why there was name bands sitting around for 3 days.
According to New South Wales Health's policy, patient identification bands must be checked with the patient or a family member before it's placed on. Baby Willow's father was with her the entire time she was in the NICU, but not once was he asked to verify her details.
Brianna demanded a copy of her records from the hospital. According to the paperwork, Willow's ID bracelets had been checked by staff several times.
Morning staff, lunchtime and nighttime staff have all initialed to say that the ID bands were present and correct, that they've checked them. And there's been 3 people in one day that has signed off on this, and they've obviously just lied on a legal bit of documentation.
And Kira, you've requested the exact same documentation for yourself, but they won't give it to you.
They turned around and said, we can tell you over the phone, but we can't give you the legal documents. And I was like, I don't understand why, since they are my legal documents.
Does it make you worried that there's something on there that they don't want you to see?
Yeah, there's definitely something on that piece of paper, or many pieces of papers, that they're hiding from me and they don't want me to know.
Brianna says when she first met with the hospital, they blamed short staffing for the stuff up.
It's like it doesn't matter if, you know, you guys are run off your feet. There's policies and procedures there that need to be followed.
Maitland Hospital has since apologised to the families, stating both babies received appropriate care and staff involved have been reminded to adhere to processes and procedures, adding all patients and carers are able to request access to their medical record. But 8 weeks on, Kira still hasn't seen hers.
I'd really like to see them in person, because who knows if they're telling the truth.
And an apology isn't good enough. There needs to be change in the public health system.
Kira and Brianna are now using their stressful experiences to send a warning to other mothers.
Just make sure you're double checking all your information and speaking up if you do feel like something's wrong, because most likely something is wrong if you've got a gut instincts about it.
Mother's instinct, hey?
Yes, yeah, definitely.
And Kira is still waiting on a physical copy of her documents after they emailed to her with the wrong dates. The good news is it appears her son Bentley did receive the correct care.